Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. It is with great gleeful schadenfreude I bring you a treat especial, the harbinger of the end of days. A robotic gadget for to virtue your way into the upper crust of the wealthy and inanely stupid. Piece of shit. Failure to chooch. I'm taking a mulligan. I need a reset on the clock. When the pool lets you down, you gotta pull out the old steel. An enigma wrapped in a mystery. Son of a diddly. That's part of the experience. Just like unwrapping a new apple. Once you've done it, just try and get the disembodied hand of Vecna, Steve Jobs, out of your back pocket. Holy old fuck, look at that. Holy old fuck. Got some gravity in her. There you go. Time. Oh yeah. Even comes with a media pack. Won't be reading that. Use in the moment. Let's get started. Download. Like fuck. If watching Mike Judge moving picture shows has taught me anything, on the other end of that is a bunch of mealy-mouthed, non-tie-wearing suits sitting around a VC table. Going forward, I'm going to tell you how fucking great I am, but prior to that, a pivot. Is your Fitbit engaged? Because when I heard this idea, I ran 10 Ks 2 inches at a time. Not a hot dog. Now this thing feels skookum. Got some gravity to her. 25 pounds thereabouts, 10 kilos roughly. Problem is, interlock 101, when the power goes off, the door has to open. That's how the fucking zombies get you. I got the Wi-Fi disabled here, just in case she tries to comms with the mothership. Contact. Oh, ooh, booting. Making some noises. Oh, for fuck's sakes. You know, I can't wait that long for a fucking juice. Look at us. Jeezless. Henry Kissinger. It is a good thing we got the Wi-Fi disabled on account of, look at that, it's taking snapshots as we speak. I'm flat. This thing's so fucking wanky, I don't even know where to, look at that. Taking thumbprints. Son of a diddly. I don't even know where to begin with this fucking thing. Let's give her a go here. What we got? Pure pomegranate, greenzing, some other granite glow. It's a good thing they don't sell these in Australia. Some poor bastard to buy this and take it to court on account of not getting the Viagra he paid for. I assume we'll need a cup here. Of course, the shop cup, ubiquitous shop cup. It's a gift that keeps on giving. You fill it up, you get a little extra kick. And there's not even any fungus in there. Fresh. Let's give her a go, huh? Here we go. Oh, I'm assuming, oh, you can hear the pulse width modulation of the dimming. That's kind of irritating, a high-pitched whine. Maybe 2600 hertz. Like a... Oh, for fuck's sakes. The mash harder button is fucking nicht. Okay, well, clearly it ain't gonna work. We're gonna have to hack this thing to get it to work. So go ahead and call me a polyglot, but I ain't much of one for having a robot masticate my produce for me. Oh, that's fucking disgusting. Oh, no. Oh, So this is some sort of beet juice, what for turning your stool blood red, send you to emerge for no good reason. Oh, and it stinks. Oh, this is fucking gnarly. What? Okay, so about that much in there. Oh, that's fucking gross. This is just wrong on so many fucking levels. I can't. I can't. Pre-masticated, but of course it's cold pressed. Yeah, the mind boggles. It absorbs some of the moisture here, and then it's got so it oxidizes more quickly. It breathes. It's living. Here we go. That's what your $8 gets you. But no, you have to buy 5 at a time, weekly. Weekly. In order to get the machine, you got to buy 5 at a time on a subscription, and it comes weekly. 40 fucking doll hairs a week this cost you. A local black bear. Yeah, gonna love this. Hasn't had it this good since my daughter was out of diapers. Sick. I gotta get into the meat of it, away from the marketing circle jerk here. Just brutal. For such a robust feeling tool, they sure have a crappy poke and bit receptacle end on account of its just service junior thermoset plastic. 105C is good, 18 gauge, but you can see it's like a python eating an elephant. All the insulation and the packing in there is coming through. It's bulging through the. So this is not a good cord, made by Kuntz, Kuntz. Possibly Kuntz, but I prefer Kuntz. Had to turn the bottom side top-wise, we can see here. Just no good at all on your Corinthian marble countertops on account of the inside of the box is all over the place. That orange just made a mess of everything. We can see here, Intertech, the mark of the beast. Juicero model J1C. Apparently this is the Pro version. 90 watts, 1.5 amps max at 120 VHC, 60 hertz. I'm trying to get into her, but this is all snapped in place. They're high. These are expensive parts. Even at $3.99, they didn't make any money. What they're doing is they're trying to go for the Caterpillar or the Komatsu style of revenue stream, where they don't care how much they make on putting the gear into the mine. They care about the spare parts. So what they care about is getting these into people's homes and getting them on this subscription. $40 a week for 5 fucking juices. That's $2,100 a year. Is that obscene? To me it is. But you know, some people more money than brains. But that revenue, that's a good system. I don't know if it works for consumers, but it sure works for industrial vendors, because like Caterpillar, for instance, what is the most profitable? What do they make the most profit on? Some sort of high-tech piece of gear, an excavator or super duper mining thing? No. They make it on undercarriage, rollers, bogies, idlers, drive, all that. Just steel, nuts and bolts. That's where they make their most money. They get the gear in and then they sell the spares. Same thing as these guys. Look at this. Oh. Now this is an expensive part. Overmolded. Some sort of ABS. Overmolded with silicone rather. Got bromine in it, so fire retardant stuff. Rev H. Now, have they made A through H molds? Or is Rev H? No, Rev H must be for the design company. They need to justify their existence too, because Juicero did not make this. They had they're just paper shufflers, essentially, marketeers. So they would have a design company build this, and And those designers, well, this is like a designer's wet dream. But those designers need to justify their existence, hence the Rev H. Well, you can already see this thing's an onion. Layer after stinky layer until there's nothing left but tears. Ultrasonically welded. Different suppliers for the boards. Here's a red board. Here's a, maybe just because it's visible. Yeah, it's visible. Oh, it's got some RGB LEDs in there, but only power. So there's got to be a chip on this one to control those RGBs. Red, black, green. Well, I thought I was wrong, but it turns out I'm mistaken. We can see here January 21st, 2016. So this got expedited. Like, that's pretty quick to be on the market. And we have some little capacitor resistors there to limit the current going into those LEDs. And those are not RGB LEDs. They just look like it. Let's turn them on and see what we get. Ah, LEDs. 1.6 volt drop across there. There's a little device here, active device, 3 leads. Gotta be a Hall effect sensor. That means this is monitoring magnetic fields. So when you close the door, this would pick it up, send a signal to the confuser, and the confuser would say, hey, yo, door's closed. That means we have to have a magnet in here. We got our magnetic viewing film here. Yeah, sure enough. There's a little magnet right there in the door. So if you wanted to, that is one of the interlocks to spoof this into thinking the door is closed, is this magnet. And this guy's interesting. 3 leads, just an LED. Why the 3 leads? It's addressable. It's a neopixel. We'll have a look in the microscope. The age in which we live. Here we go. Here's the magic what makes the pixies dance. There's a Lilliputian city in there. You can see it's like a spider with the bond wires, gold bond wires. Those are amazing. The way they get welded is they just have a microscopic gold wire and it touches another piece of gold and they spontaneously weld together because there's no oxide layer on there. And then the different factors here, the different sections, look to be aluminized, but those are where the LEDs, the light emitting diodes, are. And then the bare die chip here, just the silicon chip, and we can see all the different sectors of it. That's what's actually controlling those to turn on and off. It receives info from the confuser or microprocessor and then does pulse width modulation and all sorts of I mean, now this is just pouring the coals to the burn rate here, just shoveling money at this. Look at the size of the mold this would have been, and it's perfect polycarbonate and ABS. It's got that nice feel. It doesn't feel like, you know, that recycled Chinese ABS sewer pipe, refurbished condoms, and the tears of aborted female fetuses. Yeah, no, this is actually nice, but holy hats off to the mold makers what made this, because it fits in so fucking good. It's just I can't believe this. They made this one piece. It's incredible. The front bezel held on with adhesive foam tape, but again, the mold makers, they are the artisans of our age. Look at this thing, just beautiful. It's even got waffle face injector pins for gripping around the round section to pop this out. It's just, this thing is a thing of beauty. Not a mark on her, well, other than the ones I put there. What I said before, yeah, forget it. This thing's awesome. It's like the Death Star. It's not their fault. They're just roofing contractors. This thing's awesome. If you're gonna fail, fail hard and with style. The design, guys, this would have been millions. Look at look. It is pornographically beautiful. They should have just encased this in Lexan. Something you could see the parts. Check the tapered roller bearings. Look at the size of her. This It's proper rubber, so this would be vulcanized in an autoclave. Like, just what the f, yo? Selling these at $3.99, you're losing your shirt. You are losing your fucking shirt. Look at this. The machining on these pockets are all deburred. They've all been rotary tumbled or vibratory tumbled. There's a hard drive platen in here, high voltage something or other. I'm speechless. It's like so. High voltage, yeah, 315. Wow, 330 volts DC. Ugh. What the fuck? Oh, here's the path what makes the pixies dance. And I thought this was a boost converter, but I couldn't find any MOSFETs. So this is not a switching boost converter. You get 330 volts, of course. Out of the wall, you get 120. So where's the extra volts coming in? These appear to be chokes. Okay, well, let's start at the beginning here. I was born at a very early age, and it goes through this polyfuse. So this is a resettable polyfuse. So it won't burn out. Well, it won't burn out. It'll reset itself if it goes over. Here we have a metal oxide varistor. That's just to take the spikes out. It's like a bazillion bunch of diodes back to back. And if the voltage goes over a certain limit, then it conducts very well. If it's below that certain limit, then it conducts very poorly. A mylar cap, so a capacitor, looks to be another metal oxide varistor, different rating. We have some capacitors here. These appear to be chokes to limit the inrush current. They're not. They're actually transformers. If you look, the two sides are completely isolated. They're only magnetically coupled, and we have two of those. They must be boosting the voltage over to here. We have two diodes, so half wave rectification, and then over to here, and it smooths out the pulses from the rectification. Then that goes into, well, this goes into directly, that goes into a standalone power supply, 5 volts, 3 volts for the brain box here. This is a SD devices microcontroller. Here we have the clock crystal in its little can. This is actually a slice of quartz crystal that's tuned to vibrate at just the right frequency to make this thing chooch. This sets the tempo for the microcontroller. Now the microcontroller, what it does, it takes all the inputs from the Wi-Fi and the door closing and so forth, and when you hit the right sequence of events, it fires this motor. It's a permanent DC magnet motor, 330 volts DC, 5 amps. But the input to this thing, if you recall, is only 95 watts. So 1.5 amps at 120 volts. So something tells me this is not drawing 5 amps. If it was, these would get drawn down pretty quick. So it might be spiking at 5 amps or a little less, but nowhere near there. Here we have the drivers, H-bridge drivers, and the switches themselves, the MOSFETs, what actually turn off and on the current to this guy. And this just gets molexed right in to the board. So this is where we attack if we want to trick this thing into chooching without speaking to the mothership. And the back of the motor here we have something cute, a magnetic encoder. Neodymium magnets in appears to be Delrin or something very similar, stiff plastic, and then a little board with a Hall effect sensor that measures the magnetic flux. Every time this goes past, it pulses, sends pixies through the wire into the microcontroller. So this microcontroller knows where the motor is, and because the motor is mechanically coupled to the shaft here, what presses the juice out, by it being connected here, it knows what position the platen is for crushing the overpriced juice packs. The PCB board nice matte black solder mask here. We got some through-hole components that were masked off prior and then wave soldered. These would have been all these placed by machine and then reflowed. Sorry, brain fart there. But we can see here they're not expecting to see much vibration on this at all because they haven't mitigated any breakage due to vibration. These are just sort of hanging out in the breeze here. Normally you would put some Celastic on there just to stiffen up that connection so it's not just the electrical leads that are connecting to the board. Other than that though, beautiful board. Simple power supply. You know, for 330 volts you'd think it would get pretty complicated, but all they're doing is a simple toroidal transformer. Last board, that was the grunty board, what controlled the motor. This is the effete younger artsy brother, and this is the Wi-Fi module and the camera module, and it does kind of the thinking, right? Here's a little beeper, SD micro devices, microcontroller. You know, this is the one that actually does the thinking to see if your pack is if it's in range, or if it's not old, or if there's a recall or whatever. That's their great claim to fame. The problem with all this internet, was a buzzword 2 years ago. Now everybody just rolls their eyes. But Internet of Things device is that everything goes online and sends out data all the time. But the problem with that is a lot of these cheapo devices, there's no security. So, well, who cares? Well, you can go on the internet right now and browse websites of these Wi-Fi enabled security cameras and just watch people's houses from their own security devices. The other thing that happens is hackers get in there because the passwords never get reset. They're just factory default. Hackers get in there and then they use these devices as zombies to do denial of service attacks. So there's all this whole terrible security by obfuscation that doesn't work that's going into these internet of devices, IoT, internet, whatever the fuck it is. It's bad. So nice standoffs, beautiful. I mean, even the bend, like the bending, the sheet metal bending on this, absolutely perfect. These would appear to be not lasered out, but die cut. So it'd be a ka-chunk machine, and you can see where they've sheared it, and then this would go through a CNC bender and bend all these together. Absolutely perfect, real thick gauge material, stiff, and electroplate zinc coating on there. No expense spared on this. We can see where the high voltage board goes. We put some dielectric material on there to prevent it from arcing out to the case. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing to dry fire. Of course, this is a permanent magnet DC motor. So the voltage in just controls the speed. So 330 volts, it turns a certain speed. As long as we get enough amps in there to overcome the stiction, to get enough torque to actually get this thing to turn, it will turn on lower voltage. It just won't turn as fast. So let's see. I'll get this connected up to the crappy power supply, and we'll just bring up the voltage. There we go. Just turned it on. We're at 14 volts. Now if we want to reverse it, simply reverse the leads. Contact. Now in order for us to get that ungodly, both taste-wise and cost-wise, juice out of the pack, you don't want to do it by hand manually like a sucker. I mean, why would I use my GI tract when I can just send some legal tender to someone and they can do my mastication for me? I mean, 7/8 Acme threaded screw to get turning. We also need to actuate the lock. So how will we spoof the lock? There's all kinds of ones and zeros, and here's the brain box. I'll be frank with you, this thing looks smarter than me. That's not saying much. I'm not very smart, but I do know that motors generally have 2 R's. If you put pixies in one end, torque comes out the other. Quite a bit smaller gear motor, and it's a gear motor because it's got a little DC, permanent magnet DC motor on here, brushes inside you can't see, and then a gear train, probably a planetary gear set in there for reducing or for increasing the torque essentially. These things spin them a thing so fast, they're essentially unusable unless you have a gear train in front of them. And there we go, we release. And, and reverse action. 4. And those are small wires. 4. Applying the lock. There we are. And the lock stays put. Yeah. We're good to go. I'm going to take a page out of R. Kelly's book here. See if we can do a Emperor Orange trip to Russia. Midnight knock at the door. Piss. And now we don't have the thing to hold in there, but we'll just do like that. And this, frankly, is a little bit too disgusting even for me, so we'll just clean that out a little bit. That's better. Clean as a whistle. Are you ever seen a steam whistle, Billy? No, Captain Hindgrinder. But I've been something with the blue vein piccolo. Here we go. Contact. $18 volts, 20 volts. All shall suffer, 31 volts. I'm going to go have me a fag here, offset the juicy goodness that this is going to imbibe in my... Oh, what the fuck is going on now? Is she chooching? Changed the noise. The noise changed. Oh, maybe just loading up. Or dying. No smoke yet. Anytime now. I think we're in the right spot. Oh, Jesus. I don't know why I didn't expect that to happen, but it scared the shit out of me. I don't have another camera to watch what's going on, but I gotta move you. That's right in the name there, but this juicy jizzer, it's shooting juice all over the place. Just spatter and crap. I guess you probably need the special proprietary. Let's see if we can turn up the amperes here. Oh, she's as high as she'll suffer. Okay, good enough for the girls I go out with. Try some of this delicious, highly caloric juice. Yeah. Not too bad. I don't mind that at all. I don't know if that's $8 worth, but whatever. You know, one of them fancy uptown rigs. Pay $8 for that, no problem. That ain't teabag at all. I feel myself going into beast mode. Put lead in your pencil. Let's have a look. See, I was gonna blast them because they said that you can recycle these, but of course, foil packs, anything with plastique and foil, can't recycle. Funny story. Well, sad story. I was commissioning some gear at a cogen spot that used hog fuel. Hog fuel is waste from trees, like when they process trees, it's the bark and all the hog fuel. So what they do is they burn it and they create steam, and then with that steam you can turn a turbine and co-generate electricity to sell. Okay, so I was at one of these places and they had fucking piles of these Keurig K-cups in sea cans. Like incredible amounts of these Keurig. So I asked the guy, like, what's up with these? I thought they recycled them. And he says to me, yeah, they recycle them right into the furnace. They burn them for power. You can't recycle the friggin' thing. So they were on a pilot project actually getting paid to take these things and burn them. So anytime you see can be recycled where facilities exist, and it's, well, can you recycle these? I mean, is the recycler going to want this? Really? Really? You sure about that? You're kind of... Normally I like pomegranate, but... Oh, those are gnarly. Those are not good pomegranate. Gross. So this is a guide block for the platen. Pressed in here. Hexagonal, and then nice little circlip. That's just the guide, but look at this. Precision ground pins for locating. Look at this. So tight the air doesn't want to come out. Look at it. Look at it. Like this little screw, it just will not come out. Ah. I need to get the impact gun. This is on a, let me just see here. Because it's on a turny bit sometimes. Holy old fuck, you're kidding me. Left hand thread. Oh, nice Loctite on there too. And fucking incredible. Look at this. Angels sing. Look at this. It's beautiful. No expense spared. I mean, huge chunks of aluminium all CNC'd out. D-bird. Just right in the feels, boys. Right in the feels. Ain't no kill like overkill. Look at this. Got a beautiful gear. Oh, soft though. Soft. First chink in the armor. Look at the size of the gear though. And even the shaft collar is machined. It's not some scabby off the shelf, you know, black phosphor with rust marks on it. You know the kind. But the gears, just steel gears, not hardened. That's surprising. That is surprising. However, look at the size of them. Oh, and this is weird and really super chintzy. Little UHMW, ultra high molecular weight, plastic bushing for taking up the thrust. The ultra high molecular weight is more expensive than the lower. It's not density. It's the way that they cool it. They chill it. I believe they chill it very quickly in order to get the molten material to crystallize a certain way, and that adds to the cost of the material. Holy fuck, you're fucking kidding me. Oh my god. I had envisioned, because of the look of this, I had totally envisioned just a cogged belt over to drive this, but look at the gear reduction. Holy old fuck. All oil light bronze bushing. You know. One thing about that is there's not that much slop if they're fit properly. Whereas a bearing, there is some slop in the bearing. None of these, all cut gears. None of them hard. Still though, look at the 1, 2, it just, oh, I'm speechless. This thing easily cost $1,000. Easily. The burn rate on this, every single one of these out the door costs them money. Oh, it's just incredible. So they gotta make these things last. I can't, but that's a thing. We're just working stiffs. We don't have any idea about where the money, you know, where's the money come from for something like this. Google Ventures and all these venture capitalists, they got 3 things. Like this whole abortion of an idea. It's taking the idea and then feature creeping it to the nth degree. It's just, it gets disgusting. Like Bluetooth. So really, you got to get on the internet to make juice like that. Oh God, sickening, right? But here's where they got the money. 1, you make cold pressed juice. That's the byword in the juice world. I don't care for juice, highly glycemic, highly energy, highly caloric. I like to chew my food. There is such a thing as chewing satisfaction. Maybe it's because I'm not lazy. I don't know. I think it's a stupid idea. But other people, you know, cold press and mamby-pambies and weirdos that don't know, you know, there's a sucker born every minute. And somebody that's worried about cold press versus hot press, like, come on, give your fucking head a shake. I digress from that. Clean up for making juice is a pain right in the cunning stunts. So, if you can eliminate that, you get good juice, good tasty juice, and you don't have to clean up, hey, that is a fantastic idea. Idea 2, the subscription service. This is like Netflix for juice. So, you know, you tie that in, oh, it's like Netflix for juice. Netflix, big success, you know. 3, this is Keurig cups. This is Keurig cups for juice. So you say that, what a huge commercial success Keurig cups are. I don't care for them myself, but I like to make myself a drip coffee. I'm old school. What can I tell you? But people love the convenience, making money hand over fist. Venture capitalists see this, you know, buzzword. Keurig starts with a K, nice strong K word. Keurig, this is the next Keurig. And you have that recurring revenue stream from the Netflix effect of constantly bringing in new juices. And then on the wank side, which is a terrible idea in my opinion, is the Internet of Things. Here's a Wi-Fi enabled juicer. I'll say that again, a Wi-Fi enabled juicer. So people just tripping over their wallets to try and invest money in this. And this is what happens. You get this ridiculous, bloated overkill. Why wouldn't you just have a bag and a little roller, you know? Just roll the juice out. High pressure in one location instead of trying to get high pressure in all. It's basic hydraulics, man. What were you fucking thinking? They weren't thinking. They were thinking about money. That's it. Marketing guys, not technical guys. Speaking of technical guys, now the guys that were hired to design and build this and had no constraints. This is what, you know, constraints a lot of times are beautiful. Anyone can build a bridge. I can build a bridge. It's going to cost you billions and billions of dollars, and it's going to take 100 years to build. What you want is a bridge that's cheap and lasts. That is the secret. Anybody can make something that lasts forever. Case in point. But can you do it without breaking the bank? Here's the thing. This is just it's so ridiculously overbuilt, and the idea itself, there's some kernels in there that work, but it's just, unfortunately, the marketing wanks got a hold of it and just took right off with the Fitbit. Oh no, this is wanky, trying to fool us here with this big beefy bearing. You ain't fooling nobody. So not a name brand bearing, just a Chinesium double X brand, not even a triple X. I mean, come on, guys. It's on the wrong fucking side. These are extremely good at thrust loading. Extremely good. Look at the size of the tapered roller elements. I mean, you can imagine how much force that would take. This is the kind, yeah, huge. Look at that. That's bigger than an axle bearing in a truck. Problem is, it's pushing this way. The thrust is this way. What's in there? A little thrust bearing. Not a baby, mind you, but still. These things aren't nearly as skookum as these. So that's a bit of smoke and mirrors going on there. Look at this fucking nut part. Holy hell. Look at that. That got machined. Seriously. That got machined out of a big old billet of 41 or, you know, some sort of decent steel. Now this thing, you never see this quality of engineering, this overbuiltness in consumer goods. They are just shoveling coal onto the fire, burning money, hand over tea kettle. The beauty part is, their waste is our gain, because we can repurpose this to our own nefarious uses. It's really quite sad, because there's lots of brilliant ideas out there, but maybe not the best marketers. This is a case of a marginal idea, but really good pitchers to VC, or, you know, hit all the targets, right? It's got IoT. It's just like the Keurig. It's got recurring revenue stream, cold press juicing, you know, health rev, all the wanky stuff that just hits the right buttons. Unfortunately, doomed to fall on its face. Just too much going on, too much wank. However, it doesn't matter to them. It's all make-believe money. They basically say, well, you know, what happens is the pioneers get the arrows and the settlers get the land. You know, somebody else will come in. And there is a grain there. There is a grain. If you make juice, because people love sweet saccharine water, essentially. If there is a healthful juice that you don't need to clean up the Jesus thing, people pay a premium for that. So there's a kernel there. I don't know about the IoT, Internet of Things. I think that's just pure wank. As far as this goes, we're going to get her back together. We're going to get some fun projects going with it. When they go tits up and they no longer supply the bags, we'll be driving through Silicon Valley, Hollywood, California, all that stuff. These will be out by the dumpster. Pick them up for your local hacker space or your local robotics team, because these are friggin' bulletproof. Thanks for watching. Keep your dick in a vice. Frottage.